Hey, everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most captivating topics that continues to spark curiosity, speculation, and endless debate: the biggest conspiracies surrounding the church and what might still be hidden from public knowledge. For centuries, religious institutions, particularly the church, have been at the center of many intriguing and sometimes unsettling mysteries. But what's real? And what's just the result of wild imaginations? Stick around as we explore 5 of the most fascinating church conspiracies that have left people questioning what's really going on behind the scenes. Today, we're diving into the origins of control authority and exploring how ancient myths may have been deliberately reshaped to serve new and powerful purposes. The ancient Sumerians developed a mythology that was intricate, complex, and surprisingly forward-thinking for its time. In their stories, humanity wasn't portrayed as inherently flawed or sinful, and their gods didn't demand blind obedience. Instead, humans and gods existed in a mutual, balanced relationship. It was a world where divine beings and humans coexisted in reciprocity. But over time, something significant happened to these stories. When they were adapted by later religious systems, especially in the Hebrew texts that would eventually become part of the Old Testament, the narrative shifted. The nuanced balance of divine interaction was stripped away, and in its place was an emphasis on obedience, submission, and a single, overarching authority. This transformation wasn't just an innocent change in storytelling, it was a calculated rebranding of divine law, infused with a political agenda. Sumerian mythology presented a world of multiple deities, each with unique personalities and powers. There was no single, all-controlling god dominating the rest. Anu, the chief deity, held prominence, but the structure was more collaborative than authoritarian. As we look closer, it becomes clear that these ancient tales were more than just myths. They were powerful tools, capable of shaping societies and control structures across generations. Imagine a supreme ruler who didn't micromanage every part of human life. That was Anu in Sumerian mythology, a powerful god, yes, but not one demanding constant control. Even Enlil, known for his destructive side, didn't insist on blind obedience. And Enki? He encouraged knowledge, independence, and even a bit of rebellion. For the Sumerians, divinity wasn't about control. It was about coexistence, growth, and survival. But with the rise of monotheism, especially in early Hebrew culture, a monumental shift occurred. The diverse council of gods, with differing goals and personalities, gave way to a single, all-encompassing God-creator, judge, and ruler who demanded total obedience and punished dissent. This change wasn't just a theological evolution. It reshaped divine authority into a powerful tool of control. Consider the implications. A singular God who requires unwavering loyalty and punishes disobedience forms an ideal foundation for a society shifting toward kingship and empire. In such a society, what better mechanism for control than a religion insisting on complete allegiance, not only to the deity, but to those in power claiming to represent him? Scholars believe this shift was no accident. Over time, the priestly and political elites reshaped religious narratives, embedding their authority within divine law itself. We see this transition clearly reflected in, take the biblical flood story. In Sumerian mythology, the decision to flood the world isn't straightforward, there's defiance. Enki, one of the gods, steps in to save humanity because he sees them as worth preserving. But in the biblical version, that tension disappears. There's no divine protector advocating for humanity's survival. Instead, we have Noah, a chosen man obedient to God, saved while the rest of humanity is swept away. The message shifts: obey and be saved, question and face destruction. This change has powerful implications. By removing a figure like Enki, a protector who values knowledge and independence, the story sidelines these themes in favor of obedience. It establishes a hierarchy where the priestly class, as interpreters of divine will, holds the keys to salvation. Control over divine knowledge becomes a tool for controlling the people. The structure of the Hebrew Bible reflects this power dynamic. God's will is presented as absolute, with deviation met by severe consequences. This shift marks a dramatic departure from the Sumerian worldview, where gods had individual motivations and humans had agency, even the power to challenge or bargain with the divine. Ancient myths weren't just spiritual beliefs, they were tools for consolidating power. Imagine the priests and rulers of early Israel looking at Sumeria's rich mythology and seeing an opportunity, a tapestry of narratives that could be reshaped to fit a more centralized system. A system with one God, one truth, one law, and one ruler. It's efficient, powerful, and demands absolute loyalty. With this new theology in place, anyone challenging the status quo wasn't just defying authority, they were opposing God himself. We can see traces of this political intent in the laws and commandments throughout the Old Testament. Obedience isn't simply encouraged, it's enforced under threat of divine punishment. The Sumerians, in contrast, had a much more dynamic and flexible relationship with their gods. Their myths depicted gods who could make mistakes, disagree with each other, or even be swayed by human persuasion. But in the Hebrew texts, that balance disappears. Here, we meet a God who doesn't negotiate, a God who embodies ultimate authority, and conveniently, this aligns perfectly with the needs of a centralized government and ruling class. This shift in myth-making wasn't unique to Israel. We see similar patterns across other ancient civilizations, where myths were molded to serve the ruling elite. In Egypt, pharaohs were considered divine, the Romans deified their emperors, and the Greeks designed a pantheon that echoed their political structures. But in the Hebrew Bible, we witness the beginning of a complete transformation from polytheistic storytelling to strict monotheism. Here was a God beyond question, representing an authority beyond challenge. What does this reveal? It suggests that the biblical stories we know today may have been crafted with purposes beyond spiritual guidance. They served as tools for social engineering, uniting people under one God, one law, and one governing system. By taking stories from Sumerian mythology and removing the layers of multifaceted deities and cooperative divinities, the new monotheistic vision created a system that allowed for no debate, no bargaining. This shift makes a big difference. A single, commanding God who demands obedience is far easier to control than a pantheon that encourages negotiation, understanding, and human agency. Defiance, this isn't just about religion, it's about control, loyalty, and the consolidation of power. When we peel back the layers of these myths, a pattern emerges, a shift from gods who walk alongside humanity to a God who stands above it, demanding obedience at any cost. In a time when ancient rulers needed to unite their people, what better tool than reshaping mythology into an instrument of authority? So, we're left with a thought-provoking question. How much of what we call divine law is truly about faith? And how much was crafted to serve a ruling class that demanded absolute loyalty? The transformation of Sumerian myths was no mere cultural evolution. It was a deliberate move to reshape humanity's understanding of its place in the world. The relationship between humans and the divine moved from one of mutual respect to one of submission. And here's the twist. We're often taught that the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, is a uniquely Christian concept. But if you dig deeper into ancient history, especially the myths of Sumeria, you find something intriguing. 3 godlike figures, Enki, Anu, and Enlil, that seem to echo this structure. It's as if there was a shadow trinity that predates Christianity by thousands of years. These 3 figures lie at the heart of Sumerian mythology. Let's start with Anu. In Sumerian myth, Anu is the god of the heavens, the ultimate creator, a distant, almost abstract figure symbolizing an unreachable power that oversees all existence from above. An all-powerful, unreachable God who rules from the heavens sound familiar? It's strikingly similar to the way the Father is portrayed in Christianity, a divine source of everything, yet removed from daily human affairs. Next, there's Enlil. Often seen as a storm god, Enlil represents the forces of nature: air, earth, the raw elements. But here's where it gets interesting. He's also a harsh figure. Some Sumerian texts depict Enlil as a god who, at times, brings destruction upon humanity. He's a god who can protect but also has the power to destroy, wielding control over humanity and enforcing order. This duality, blessing and judgment, is echoed in certain portrayals of God in the Old Testament, a deity who offers protection but also enforces harsh justice. Unpredictable and intense, Enlil could be seen as holding the darker power within this trinity. And that brings us to Enki, perhaps the most intriguing of the three. Enki is the god of wisdom, knowledge, and creativity, often associated with water. He's also known for defying the other gods to protect humanity, embodying traits of a trickster, a savior, and sometimes a rebel. Enki doesn't just observe humanity from afar. He steps down, engaging with people and even challenging divine authority to bring them knowledge and growth. Now think of this in Christian terms. Who else comes to mind? Enki's characteristics echo elements of both the Holy Spirit, giver of wisdom, and the Son, who sacrifices for humanity. The parallels are striking. So, we're left with a question. Why do we see such clear resemblances between the Holy Trinity of Christianity and the Sumerian triad of Anu, Enlil, and Enki? Is it mere coincidence? Or is there something deeper? Could these ancient Sumerian gods have influenced the evolution of later religious beliefs? Or were they perhaps adapted into a new framework to fit the doctrines of monotheism? This isn't just a historical curiosity. It challenges us to look at the roots of religious symbols and wonder how ideas evolve across cultures and eras. Is this just speculation? Not entirely. Historians and mythologists have documented how ideas spread across ancient civilizations. Sumeria, one of the world's oldest known civilizations, predates ancient Israel by centuries. So, when early Christians were shaping the beliefs of their new faith, could they have adapted elements from these ancient gods, reshaping them to fit their own doctrines? This isn't just a fascinating theory. It may be a crucial key to understanding the origins of the Trinity concept. Take the book of Genesis, for example. Many assume it presents a one-of-a-kind creation story. But here's the catch. When we dig deeper, we start to see that Genesis echoes and loudly the ancient Sumerian myths that existed thousands of years prior. Genesis describes the creation of the world in 7 days, the separation of waters, the forming of land, and even humanity's creation from the earth. Yet, when we look at Sumerian myths, we find strikingly similar themes. The Sumerians had an intricate cosmogony that speaks of separating the heavens from the earth, and this parallel is more than coincidence. It hints at a shared or evolving mythic heritage, one that may connect the stories that shape our religious beliefs. The creation story in Genesis isn't as unique as we might think. Long before the Hebrew Bible was written, Sumerian myths told a similar tale of the earth's creation, a primordial battle against chaos, and the formation of life from clay. In fact, the Sumerians had a god named Enki who played a key role in creating humanity by shaping them from clay, a detail that mirrors the creation of Adam from dust in Genesis. Enki was known for his wisdom and his desire to empower and protect humanity. This isn't just a coincidence. It's almost as if the Genesis account is echoing the Sumerian myth, maybe even borrowing from it. But it goes even deeper. Both Genesis and Sumerian myths feature the concept of a primordial sea, or chaos. The Bible refers to this as the deep or the waters, while in Sumerian mythology, it's the chaotic waters of Tiamat, the mother of the gods, from which all life and order emerged. In both traditions, we see the same pattern: order rising out of chaos, light separating from darkness, and life being formed from the earth. These creation narratives share such striking similarities. They almost seem to come from the same well of ancient storytelling, just reshaped for different theological purposes. So why would the Bible, a text considered to be unique and divinely inspired, include elements that sound so much like a Sumerian remix? Historians suggest that as ancient cultures interacted, their myths evolved and adapted, especially as the Israelites were exposed to the rich myths of neighboring civilizations. The Vatican's secret archives have fueled countless theories and imaginations over the years. Known for holding some of the oldest and most confidential documents in human history, these archives are rarely accessible to the public. Only a few scholars and high-ranking church officials are allowed in, leaving many to wonder what exactly is stored in these vaults. Some speculate that they contain sensitive documents, such as evidence of extraterrestrial life, secret gospels not included in the Bible, or details about historical events the church may want to keep hidden. While the Vatican has opened parts of its archives to the public in recent years, the restricted areas remain an enigma, fueling conspiracies that the church is safeguarding truths that could fundamentally change our understanding of history. The Knights Templar were a medieval order of warrior monks, and their legacy is deeply intertwined with mystery. According to popular legend, the Templars discovered sacred treasures, including the Holy Grail and other priceless religious artifacts, during the Crusades. These treasures were allegedly kept hidden from the public by the Templars, and when the order was disbanded in the 14th century, they supposedly vanished without a trace. Some theories suggest the church knows more than they're letting on about these lost artifacts, and that they may be hiding valuable relics or historical documents about the Templars in undisclosed locations. Whether the stories are true or not, the mystery of the Templars and their treasures has left a deep imprint on the history of conspiracy theories surrounding the church. Did you know that several religious texts were excluded from the Bible? Known as the Apocrypha or Gnostic Gospels, these texts present different perspectives and sometimes contradict the traditional biblical narrative. Many of these writings were banned or destroyed by early church authorities. Some scholars believe that the church's early leaders intentionally kept these texts out to control the teachings and beliefs of their followers. Among these texts are the Gospel of Thomas and the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, which present more mystical and diverse interpretations of Jesus' life and teachings. The suppression of these ancient writings continues to be a hot topic, with many theorists suggesting the church might be hiding truths about early Christianity that could alter the faith's fundamental beliefs. Exorcisms and demonic possessions are topics often depicted in pop culture, but the church's real stance on them is much more complex. Historically, exorcisms were shrouded in secrecy, and only a select group of priests were authorized to perform them. Although the church has acknowledged cases of exorcism, they've been tight-lipped about specific details. Some theorists suggest that the church has access to knowledge about supernatural forces, demonology, or even psychological conditions that they choose not to disclose publicly. Others believe that there's a secret exorcist squad that operates globally to handle such cases discreetly. Whether or not these claims hold any truth, the church's guarded approach to exorcisms keeps this topic surrounded by curiosity and mystery. In 1917, 3 young shepherd children in Fatima, Portugal, reported visions of the Virgin Mary, who shared 3 prophetic secrets with them. While the first 2 secrets were revealed by the Vatican, the third, known as the Third Secret of Fatima, wasn't disclosed until decades later. Even when it was finally made public, many believers were unconvinced, suspecting that the church withheld parts of the message. The official account describes a vision of a bishop dressed in white being shot, which many interpret as a prophecy about an attempt on the Pope's life. But theorists argue that the real third secret might reveal more apocalyptic information or warnings. This unresolved mystery has led some to believe that the church might still be hiding the full contents of the prophecy. The Vatican has long been more than just a religious institution. It's also a powerful political entity with a significant influence on world affairs. Some conspiracy theorists claim that the church has secretly shaped global events and manipulated political outcomes from behind the scenes. From influencing elections to shaping foreign policy, the Vatican's political power is often seen as a tool for global control. While the Vatican's role in politics is well documented, its hidden influence is often a subject of speculation. Could the Vatican be more deeply involved in world affairs than we realize, steering nations towards certain decisions for its own agenda? The secrecy surrounding its political connections certainly fuels these theories. The deaths of several popes throughout history have sparked widespread conspiracy theories. Some believe that certain popes met untimely ends due to foul play, cover-ups, or even poisoning. One famous case is that of Pope John Paul I, who died only 33 days into his papacy in 1978 under mysterious circumstances. Some speculated that he was poisoned, possibly due to his efforts to reform the Vatican's finances or his opposition to certain hidden church practices. The quick burial and lack of thorough investigation only added to the intrigue. Welcome to Blessovia Science TV, where we take you on an exhilarating journey through the cosmos and unravel the mysteries of science. We are excited to offer you the opportunity to become a valued member of our ever-growing community of cosmic enthusiasts and knowledge seekers. Exclusive access to cosmic content. As a member of Blessovia Science TV, you will gain exclusive access to a treasure trove of cosmic content, including documentaries, interviews with leading scientists, space missions updates, and awe-inspiring visualizations of the universe, live Q, and sessions with experts. Your membership will grant you the chance to participate in live Q and sessions with renowned scientists, astronomers, and space explorers. Get your burning questions answered by those who push the boundaries of human knowledge. Embark on a journey that spans the cosmos and join us in unraveling the secrets of the universe. Become a Blessovia Science TV member today, and together we will reach for the stars. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and share. Don't forget to leave your comment.